Alright, here's how I made just over 2R in literally just bang on 2 minutes. It's a very textbook trade, especially something we take here at ZCFX because all the stars aligned. I also mentioned and called this move out to my students. I pretty much just said on my analysis video this morning, I said, hey look, if price does X, Y, Z, I'm going to look to short. I'll add a little clip somewhere around here.
But currently we're tapping into the potential internal supply, which is pretty interesting. Let's get taken. It looks like we've already taken M15 low, so as long as we're staying below this low, this could be a nice play. Yeah, let's see if we can get some continued shorts today. But as long as we're staying below and inside of this H4 POI, maybe we can look for continued shorts.
And going back into the trade recap, as you can see here, right, H4 time frame, what are we seeing? Now, don't get me wrong, daily, etc. Yeah, you know, gold right now is mostly just consolidating. We are still externally bullish, right? Weeklies are the same, still externally bullish, more so just internally ranging. Okay, now I'm not trying to swing into the newest highs or the newest lows, etc. because we're not in a bull run. Price is just mostly ranging side by side, get into chocks here, left, right and center, market shifts, whatever you want to refer to them as. Okay, so I'm not looking for big moves. I'm not looking for, you know, huge swings into new highs. For example, you know, you go back here the other month, right, into February, March, etc., and April, you know, price was just rallying. It was obvious buys all day, obviously with everything in the whole world war, you know, tensions, you know, increasing. It was just obvious to be longing. So yes, in situations like that, if you get in like at the bottoms here, even just around here, you can swing into new highs. You can hold into new highs. You can have bigger positions, okay? But this was just a fixed 2R. And for some reason, due to some spreads, etc., it was just happened to be just over 2R. Okay. Anyways, with that being said, let's just jump into the trade recap. Okay. So, like I said, high time frame ranging. Okay. So we're gonna keep that in mind. We're not trying to swing into new highs. I'm not trying to buy at the bottom to try and swing into the new high, all-time high. Okay. Because there's no fundamental reason yet. Anyways, 4R, as you can see here, yes, we shifted bullish. Yes, we also broke bullish, but obviously we've seen, it depends how you want to view it. If you include imbalances within your range, well, then you'd be referring to this as your highs and lows. Fair enough, okay? If you exclude imbalances within this range, well, then you'd be referring to these lows as your, obviously, you know, external structure, okay? So I kind of approached this a little bit, you know, like, okay, I'm going to wait for a short-term reaction of this. I'm not expecting this to hold long-term, you know, I'm just going to literally get it as much as I can, squeeze as much as I can out of it, and get a little 2R here and there. You know, yeah, I made a few grand off it. It was a beautiful move. And yeah, I'm not looking to try and hold into these internal and external lows, etc. I was just simply looking for a little short-term fix RR. I have my reasons why, which I won't discuss, you know, one of them being US bank holiday. That's not really, that doesn't really play a relevant role in this position right now. As for this POI, etc., this is just something I'm holding as a potential rejection point. Okay, I'm not looking to specifically trade from it unless obviously reactions and confirmations does play or does play out. This one also as well, I mentioned looking for longs of here yesterday and Tuesday, and which obviously played out nicely. Or Tuesday, Wednesday, I forget we're on Friday now. This week has flown by, guys. It's ridiculous. But longs here, obviously from Tuesday right through to Wednesday was the play to go for, in which I also called out, because every morning I try and send out either textbook, like text analysis or video analysis. So if you want access to that, link will be below. Now, obviously, 4-hour POI, right? 15 minute, as you can see here, okay? Now, yesterday I will just discuss, we had a brilliant supply chain, okay? We had this range low, range high, price shifted bearish, okay? Brilliant. We also just took out a 4-hour high. So obviously when price takes out a significant high or low, you can expect a potential reversal or at least a short-term pullback. With that being said, though, as you can see here, we just had it, you know, supply chain mitigations. Obviously, I won't discuss too much of what a supply chain is. I think I've done videos on that before, especially in my market structure masterclass. So if you want to learn that, make sure you go ahead and check it out. But as you can see, we got a series of mitigations within, this supply chain, right? And as you can see, that pretty much just led the bias into today. You know, we've seen a rally upon yesterday's news release during New York Open, pretty much at 1 o'clock. And obviously, as you can see, that was a pretty big candle, right? That was just a fundamentally driven move. And as you can see, we had a range low, range high. Okay, so I knew that price is going to come back up to this area potentially, and obviously if it did, it made sense to look for short. As you can see earlier on in the video, I mentioned that if price, stays below this high, I'm interested in shorts all day long, pretty much. Okay, I also discussed it in the group as well, and pretty much just said, looking for shorts on long, and then obviously it gave us a scaling. Anyways, as you can see here, we had this also internal high, internal low. Now we are externally bearish. Now I wanted internal price action to align with our obviously external bias for the high probability execution. Now, as you can see, we shifted bearish here. We had this new range low and this new range high. Okay, now when we look at this bit of price action here, what are we seeing? What are we seeing here? we're seeing wick rejections. We're not seeing price fully commit and closing above. Obviously, if price was to close above, then that'd be a different story. But as we're staying below, we're wick rejecting it. And obviously it's consolidation, which I'll discuss in the 1 minute time frame. It made sense to look at potential shorts. We also swept out some liquidity here as well. If you understand this, you understand. This plays a vital key in some of the trades that we take here, especially yesterday, you know, shorts, etc. I believe there's a couple of students that caught shorts there as well. And also here, it plays a vital role, okay? It's very precise. I won't discuss too much into it, exactly what it is, but if you know, you know. If you're a student of mine, bravo. You're already one step ahead of the game. Now this is just a little bit of proof that I thought I'd share, you know. Open price 333807, 333807. Close price, that was just due to spreads, as my TP was 88, but because of spreads it was 90. And then obviously look at the open time and close time. Now I am using Match Trader and look at my charts. I entered at 10:30, but it says 9:30. That's just because I'm Match Trader. It's 1 hour behind, and to be honest, I don't know how to actually change it. So I'll just leave it like that because I don't actually trade on Match Trader or analyze especially. It's more so just to execute my trades. Yeah, I make slight adjustments, etc. For example, you know, like the candles. You know, I won't just enter off the trading view candle. I'll enter off the Match Trader candle because that's the data that I'm trading from, so it makes sense to do so. But anyways, as you can see here, right, what did price do? Okay, now we had a range bound market, okay, and usually, well, to simplify things, the way I see a range bound market is usually where the bigger players or the smart money are usually making their decisions. Obviously after a range bound market, you can expect two things. Well, it's either going to continue ranging, or the second thing, it's going to rally, or it's going to tank, okay? Which direction, we don't know, but we react based on that, and that's exactly what I've done here, okay? So as you can see, we are ranging, right? Price obviously rallied to the downside, not too much here, rally, well, obviously we pull back from into this POI. Now, just a quick one on rallies, and I mean not rallies, but on range bound markets, right? I learned this from Larry Williams, and he's an old school trader. He's, you know, old now, bless him. You know, he's a brilliant trader. He made like 11,000% in the single year on a Robbins Cup when I think it was first released in 1980 something or 70. I could be wrong. It was like 11 something thousand percent, which is pretty insane. And he was the guy that I actually learned from or taught me the COT report, so I'd actually consider him a bit of a mentor. I don't necessarily use the COT report anymore. If you understand what it is, it's the Commitment to Traders report. I've done videos on this in the past. I think I might have unlisted them, but if you want to send me a message for them or you want to comment below what is the COT report, I don't mind doing an updated video on that for you guys. I don't trade it though these days because obviously it's lagging. It's like you know, it's behind, and it's more so for, you know, position trading or swing trading. Okay, because obviously once the CO2 report changes, you can expect changes within the market itself or the asset, the class that you're trading, right? Anyways, though, I learned from him quite a few things. Another one was that he also traded, you know, he would wait for, not necessarily on the 1 minute time frame like this here, but it's still the same logic applies. I've took the same logic that he said, but I'll just apply it to different time frames, etc., right? That's what I like to do. I'll take the best advice from the best traders around the world, and real traders, not just, you know, full of crap traders, but real traders. With proven data, with proven, you know, like this guy, Robbins Cup, okay? Proven people, you know, Wall Street people, right? And I take the best advice out there, and I just try and simplify it. I give them credit where credit's due, don't get me wrong, but I try and simplify it. Anyways, he mentioned back in the day, right, what he used to look for was 2 to 3 days price worth of consolidation. So we look for 2 to 3 days price action where it's just consolidating, and then I'll go on to the 3rd and 4th day, he'd be looking to trade. It's similar to Wyckoff as well, you know, just different take on it. And you know, that's what he'd look for. So I got the idea that, okay, well, obviously the range bound market, you can expect the, you know, a continuation, etc. Now obviously 2 to 2 days, this is completely irrelevant to this 1 minute time frame. Like I said, I've took that and obviously simplified the process a little bit, but I took the same logic. The logic still stands, but that's kind of interested me a little bit. But yeah, that's, anyways, going back on topic, guys, that's just a little bit of a side quest there. Let's go back on topic to the trade recap, okay? As you can see here, we formed this new range low, we had this range high, price pull back into the POI. Now, unfortunately, I'll be honest, I was watching a video. I got distracted. The irony of me saying don't be distracted, I got distracted myself. It happens. I'm not a robot. I'm human. I have emotions. I wake up, you know, sometimes late to the charts. I abuse caffeine. I love my Monster. You know, I'm a normal person. I'm not a robot. But as you can see there, we had an engulfing there, you know, pretty textbook entry there. Okay, obviously if you wanted to, based on the momentum, you can get away with stops above the highs there and just target down into wherever you want to target, right? Anyways, though, I'd missed that, and I didn't want to just chase price, so I waited for price, and I asked myself, okay, well, if I was in this initial position, where would I want to scale in if if one presented, or presented itself, or not a scaling opportunity arised? And that is exactly here. Okay, we formed a new range low, we had this new range high, price obviously shifted bearish there, and obviously had this breaker marked up in which price pulled back into, and then obviously the candle confirmation there that we look for at ZCFX. A lot of the trades had played out, and also it was a breakout, so double confirmation. Okay, so I went in with tighter stops there just based on the momentum. Why did I go with tighter stops? Like I just said, based on the momentum. I'm trading the momentum. Okay, and as you can see from there, I got filled in here, which is obviously where I accounted for this price, and I just targeted a fixed 2R, which happened to just be a little over 2R due to the spreads, etc. I'm not complaining, but yeah, that's the kind of the trade. It was very simple, very textbook, and yeah, man, I hope you've enjoyed this recap, guys. If you want to see some more content, pop it down below in the description. Comment, what are you struggling with? Let me know what you're struggling with, and I'll try my best to help fix that. Why? Because I want more content out on YouTube. Okay, there's not many fake traders out there. A lot of traders out there, they just post to feed their own ego. They try and clickbait with titles and thumbnails. Look at my page, I don't get any views. I don't care, I'm not even bloody monetized on YouTube just yet, right? But they post to feed their own ego. They're posting rubbish. Okay, I'm a real trader. I've been trading for 9 years. I'm seven-figure funded. I've 100 and, I wouldn't say 1,000 students yet, but I've hundreds of students. It's not even 100 members in this, mentorship. So I don't just take on anyone. I take on serious traders. But, I'm not going to blow me on trumpet here, guys. But if you enjoyed this recap, leave a thumbs up. Comment below what you want to see. Let me know what you're struggling with. And let me know if there's anything you learned from this video as well. And with that being said, all links will be down below if you want to check out more of my mentorship and how I trade. And any questions, like I said, just pop it below. Take care, guys. See you next time, and just check out some more videos of mine, I guess.